How vulnerable is your website? And how easy is it for hackers to get into it? Welcome to episode 35 of the Easy SEO and More podcast. And today I'm going to talk again about how to stop hackers. Now, if you're listening to the podcast, welcome. I'm glad you're here, but you might want to jump over to portbell.com/35 because this is a special video podcast. So the video is also going to be on the blog, as well as all the transcripts and everything else. Plus, you're going to see the image that I'm talking about. Of course, you're going to understand it without me talking about it, but you'll be able to see it too. Back in episode 33, I did Never Get Hacked Again, which of course doesn't mean you'll never get hacked, but it's a way of making it difficult for hackers to get into your website. Now, here's the reason why. For those of you that are looking at this today, this is a report that I just got about my website, Portbell SEO. And if you look at it, the top line in the gray here talks about probing for vulnerable code. 191 people tried to find vulnerable code on my website in the past 7 days. 191. This isn't computers. Well, it might be computers, but it's more likely people actually going in trying to find vulnerable code. Now, vulnerable code means basically apps that are old. Maybe your WordPress isn't completely up to date. Maybe one of the applications on that isn't completely up to date. You may have an application that is no longer active, but you haven't deleted it. And it might be an older copy, and that's a perfect way for hackers to get into your website and to do, for instance, I had a client who half of her website very strategically got changed into French casinos. And when you go to the www, you didn't even see it. These guys were really smart in the way that they did it. It was Google that told us about it when they told us they were shutting the site down. Luckily, I was able to contact them, get it all cleaned up. The site never got shut down. But I tell you what, if Google does, sorry, for some reason, my lab has decided that she wants attention right now. That's for those of you that don't know, that's my lab puppy. We just rescued her, just about a year ago now, I think, just a little under a year ago. So anyway, if your site does get shut down by Google, it is a pain in the rear to get it back up again. And so if you find out that you have been hacked and Google sends you any warnings, be sure to contact them back right away. Let them know that you're doing everything you can. Even shut the site down yourself so Google won't kick it out of the search engines until it gets fixed. So anyway, probing for vulnerable code. This part here is the first line in the gray. 191 people in 7 days. 18 people tried to request the REST API, which is a even more detailed way of getting in to try to hack it. So these were some serious hackers that were trying to get to it. I had 12 malicious requests come in the last 7 days. Those were all denied because I have an app that watches for these things. 5 IPs were blocked. That means people were trying to log into my website with unknown usernames, unknown passwords, or unknown areas. I have certain IP blocks that cannot come through, like from Russia, China, things like that. People can't come to my website from those. They can't get to the back end simply because they're known hacker IP addresses. Somebody even tried to attempt to log in with a non-existing username. They used Portbell. My username is not Portbell, and your username should not be your business name. It shouldn't be your personal name, your wife's name, your dog's names, anything like that. And for those of you that have cats, yes, you shouldn't be your cat's name either. Your username should be cryptic, as cryptic as your password, because if they can find your username, they're already halfway there. Make it difficult to find the username and difficult to find the password. Go to episode 33, that's portbell.com/33 to listen to the episode on Never Get Hacked Again. It's very important to do this. The reason why I bring this up is I know so many people that they have old versions. They don't keep their WordPress up to date. Now, if you don't know how to keep your WordPress up to date and you're not on a hosting system that does it automatically, I recommend move your website to coolwithak webhosting.com. That's coolwithak webhosting.com. our system, you can set it up to where it will automatically update all the versions of WordPress. Now, some people will tell you you don't want to automatically update them because it might cause a problem. Just because there's a new version of something doesn't mean that it's any good. And that's true. That happens sometimes. However, our system will automatically update all versions of WordPress and all the apps you have in your WordPress site. And if it causes a problem, the system will also automatically do a backup before it does the update. If the site doesn't come up right after the update, the system will automatically back up the site to before the update, and your site will still be up and live. So it's a pretty cool system. Cool with a K, webhosting.com. I highly recommend you use that if your system doesn't allow something like that. It's like $80 or $90 a year too, so you're not spending a lot of money. I think it is things like $7 or $8 a month. Don't do the WordPress hosting. Go for the cPanel hosting. The cPanel hosting, yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but it gives you a whole lot more control over what you can do, including getting to that area that I'm talking to you about. And of course, if you have any questions, you need any help, contact me. Go to portbell.com, hit the contact button. I'll be happy to help you out. Again, watch this episode. Or look at the image, I should say, or watch the episode by going to portbell.com/35. And you can watch the video on this. It's also on YouTube if you want to go there and watch it. But going to the website is just the easiest way to do it. I'll talk to you later, and you guys have a great week.